Hey, it's April with The Possible Diet, and today I am demoing how to use Roy Choi's onion soup in a meatball casserole. And then also we're gonna do his zucchini fritters, which are a great accompaniment to this. I was trying to find a recipe that would be low carb, but like also tasty and embrace the, the flavor profiles that he goes through in his cookbook, LA Sun. This cookbook is amazing. It is officially my all-time favorite cookbook. It's the only one that's made me laugh and cry, and I highly recommend it. So I'm gonna go over the ingredients in this a little bit, but if you want the recipes, buy the book because it's really good. I made his onion soup last night. Pro tip, Calvados. The recipe calls for Calvados, which I thought was a brand, but it's not. It's actually a specific kind of apple brandy that is made in France, and there are several brands. The brand I used was Roy. They have a XO and a VSOP, and the VSOP was 10 bucks cheaper, and you used 2 cups of brandy in the recipe, so I got the cheaper one. This, I don't know if you saw my reel, but this is hands down the best onion soup I've ever had, let alone the best one I've ever made. I think I've only made it like 2 or 3 times in my life, but it was all I could do to not like drink a whole bowl last night because I wanted to have more for the recipe this morning. It's really good. I boiled it down a full hour longer than his recipe calls for because I wanted to get it really, really thick so I could put it on top of these meatballs. So for this casserole, you are going to need 1 recipe of Roy Choi's onion soup from his book, LA Sun. Boil it down a full hour longer than the recipe. I promise it'll be delicious. I did use apple brandy. I didn't use just any brandy. I made sure I looked for a Calvados type of brandy. And then I didn't have any veal stock, so I used beef bone broth and chicken stock, homemade chicken stock when I made it. And then I have some Italian style meatballs from Wilshire. There are turkey meatballs. You can use any meatballs that you want. You can use your own recipe. In the future, I am going to do a meatball recipe on my YouTube. I haven't nailed it quite down yet. My meatballs, typically I do turkey and pork in a combination, which is nice. But you can use any meatballs you want, even beef meatballs. Just make sure that you check the carbs on the back so that they are, like 5 grams or less net. And then I'm going to put the onion soup just right on top of the meatballs. I'm not pouring it because I'm afraid I'm going to make a mess, so I'm just using like this muffin batter scooper thing that I have. As you can see, this is super, super thick onion soup. Almost twice as thick as it was when I made it, so maybe this is how it's supposed to be, and I just had my heat too low or something. But he said put the heat on low. If you want a tutorial for how to make the onion soup, you should watch the chef show on Netflix, because there is one. I'll try and link the episode if I can find it online. But it's a really good show, and that's kind of what got me interested in Roy Choi, and then made me discover his cookbook. And it's such a fun show to watch because Jon Favreau is he just wants to do right by Roy. Like, he's always saying like, is this right, chef? And it's kind of adorable. So get your meatballs covered like that. Sometimes when you're doing low carb, I talk a lot about this, you can feel left out of certain recipes. You start hearing a narrative in your head that's like, I can't have that, I can't have that, I can't have that. And what really, really helped me, especially in transitioning to maintenance, was getting to a place where instead of saying, I can't have that, I started to ask myself, how can I have that? How can I have the flavors of onion soup without the carbs that come with like that big piece of bread and cheese on top? And I thought, I tried different things like sweet potato slices and it just wasn't doing it. But this gives me all the flavors of onion soup with the broiled Gruyere and the meatiness of the meatballs and the gooiness of the onion soup. This is forever going to be my only onion soup recipe, by the way. It's fantastic. With lower carbs than traditional onion soup and a little more protein, which is nice. So then I'm not shy with the Gruyere. I want to get like bubbly, broily, Gruyere goodness. So this was a slice of Le Gruyere, which you can get usually at any like supermarket. I got it at Sprouts. Grating it. And then give it a nice, just a nice little layer. It's like about, it's like how I make my lasagna. And then I'm gonna broil this on low for, I would say like 20 to 30 minutes. You want the meatballs to be heated through. It's gonna, make sure that your meatballs are thawed. Your meatballs should be thawed. I thawed these in the fridge overnight. So they should be like at least room temperature. If they're cooked, you may have to broil them a little bit longer. So if you're cooking your meatballs, you probably want to cook them in the toaster oven, take them out, put the onion soup and the Gruyere on top, and then broil them. So these meatballs are fully cooked. And then I'm just gonna broil them for like, I don't know, like 20 or 30 minutes on low. Just until the cheese gets bubbly and the casserole is heated through. All right, I'll be back in just a sec to show you how to make the zucchini fritter omelet that goes with these meatballs. One thing you're gonna wanna do once you've shredded your zucchini, I just used the same grater for the zucchini that I used for the Gruyere, keep it simple, is you're gonna wanna drain, you're gonna wanna soak the liquid out of the zucchini. You can see right there, like zucchini has a lot of liquid in it, even when you shred it small. So what I like to do is just lay out a double layer of paper towels on top of a dish towel. You can also use cheesecloth, but I know I'm gonna wash this dish towel anyway, and I got this protective layer of paper towel in between them. If you use a sturdy paper towel, you're fine. And then I just kind of lay the zucchini out on top of it. I try to squeeze the zucchini a little bit in the bowl. Just spread it out, just like cinnamon rolls. I'm a baker before I was low carb. I baked a lot. You want to leave a little bit of an edge on this side of it, and then I just roll it over like that, roll it over like that, one like that, and one like that. I know that was a little tricky. And then I actually ring it just like this. Ooh, sometimes you make a mess. There's a lot more moisture in there than I thought. Normally it's not that bad, but normally I don't shred it that fine. I wanted it to be really fine for the omelet. And then you get most of your liquid out. And your zucchini is, you know, it's fairly dry. It's still gonna be moist. You're not gonna get all the moisture out. We're not trying to like dehydrate it. But then you kind of like get it like that, crumple it up, and then put it back in your bowl so that you can add it to the pan. Apparently, I didn't record myself when I was supposed to record myself. So what you're watching right now is me pan frying the zucchini in 2 tablespoons of olive oil, checking on my casserole, which looks really, really good, and waiting for the zucchini to kind of like dry up so that it gets some color on the bottom. I guess I must have pressed stop recording when I thought I pressed started recording, which isn't bad after like 30 videos to make a mistake like that. But I'm watching it firm up, and then I try to flip it and I mess it up so that I try to correct it. So it's a little gift from me to you, getting to watch me make a mistake, flipping an omelet. And then once it gets some color on it, you want to flip it to the other side, then add the butter. Let the butter get some color. Add 2 scrambled eggs on top. Let the eggs cook. And then as soon as the eggs look really good, add maybe like another tablespoon of butter drizzled over the top, and then fold the whole thing on itself so that it's an actual omelet. I don't have that recording, and I actually don't have any zucchinis, and I'm supposed to be posting this video tomorrow at 8 a.m., and I don't have time to re-record it. So you're going to have to go off my voice narration on this one. But thankfully, I did record a picture of the finished product, so that's coming next. Look at that. 20 minutes on the middle rack, broiling low. That's all it took. Looks amazing. So this is our meal. You've got your onion soup meatballs right there, your beautiful zucchini omelet, and a little more meatballs on the other side. I'm excited for this. One of the things I've been doing lately is using carrot tops instead of parsley because I have a lot of it, and I don't always go through parsley, but I go through carrots pretty fast because I put them in salads. So if you get carrots with tops, or you can get just the tops from your local farmer's market, consider that. I'm gonna dig in. This looks fantastic. Thanks.